Hey, Sonny here. Today I'm going to show you how to play this wonderful song called Lights by Journey. And I love this song, and it's a great song to learn because it connects the chords. It shows you how to move between chords with some very nice movement on your notes and scale, kind of like Jimi Hendrix does. I'm going to play it slowly, 15% slower than the original recording, and my guitar's tuned to standard tuning. There's two reasons why I'm playing slowly and also not playing along with the record. The reason why is that YouTube has a thing to detect the song, and certain songs, a lot of the songs that are copyrighted, if they detect, YouTube detects it's being played, it will block it. It will block it from many countries, or it may even cripple my channel. So I cannot play along with the song for this one, unfortunately. I also need to play it slower because if I play original speed, the YouTube's going to pick up the same song as well. They may block my videos, so that's the reason why I'm going to play it slower. And but I'm going to cover the song in this video. I'll do the intro and verse, and I'll do the rest in the separate videos. Okay, here's the intro and verse to Lights. And for this part, I'm using the neck pickup on my guitar, so it has more mids to it and gets that Jimi Hendrix sound. And I'm also going to turn my volume down a little bit, so less gain, so you can hear the parts better. So here it goes. All right, so let's break it down. Okay, so the song "Lights" is based on four simple chords. You have the D chord. You can play the D power chord at the fifth position, which is A5, D, G, B on the seventh fret. Or you can play the D on the open position, which will show up later in the song as open D. Second fret of G, B3, and E2. Okay, and the second chord is the B minor seventh chord. So that's A2, B4, D4, G2, barred with the index finger, and the third fret of B3, B string. Now, there's two ways you can play these chords, and Neal Schon uses both. He uses both. So one position's right here, the second position's right here. That's a B minor chord, or B minor 7. So B minor chord is, this 7th position is low E7, A9, D9, and the index finger barring the rest of the 7th fret of G, B, and E string. If you lift up your pinky, that would be the B minor 7th. So B minor, pinky up, B minor 7th. Okay, so those are the two B minor chords that he uses. The third one is a C chord. It's just the C bar chord. It's the exact same thing as what I showed you, the D power chord. It's just a third fret position. Those are the main chords. Oh, and also a G chord. The G chord is low E3, the 3rd fret lower E string, and you mute the A string with the flash of the bottom of your index finger, so you can't hear the A string, and you play the open D, open G string, and third fret of B and high E string. Okay, those are the chords. Now, it's mainly in the D major, in the key of D major, but because that's a C chord, the C note is a minor seventh of D, which is not a part of the D major. So the C chord in there, it makes a sound, has a D Missolidian sound to it, because it would turn into a G major with a C added, because you got a B, C, and D. So the B is the major third of G, and perfect fourth is the C of the key of G, and then D is the perfect fifth of G. So it's a G in the key of G. But the thing is that the G and D is only one note difference. The G scale only has one sharp, which is F sharp, and the D scale, the D major scale, has two sharps. It includes the F sharp and the C sharp. So again, I just mentioned the C sharp. So if you know that the C chord is in there, it's not part of the C sharp. So we know we have the minor tone added to the D scale. So that kind of changes things a little bit. But mainly, you just remember is the D. You play around the D major idea, you play around the C major idea, and play around the B minor idea. The B minor is a relative minor of D, so you're basically playing the same scale, B and D. So D major, relative minor is B minor, seventh, or B minor, same thing. All right, so with that said, you will play B minor pentatonic with the D major chord. So the pentatonic scale, in case you don't know, is we start in the 7th position. The root note is B. So you got a 7 and 10 on the low E string, 7, 9 on the A, 7, 9 on the D, 7, 9 on the G, 7, 10 on the B, and 7, 10 on the E. So that's the B minor pentatonic scale. The important thing is that the B minor pentatonic scale, the B minor is the relative minor of D major. I'm sorry. So when we play a D major chord, you can play a D minor pentatonic. You play a C major, exact same thing. You'll play the A minor pentatonic. At the 5th position. So that's the idea behind playing the rhythm for this song, and it's very Jimi Hendrix-like. All right. So the first part goes like this. So that's all B minor pentatonic. So you start from the 7th fret on the A string, slide to 9th fret. And then I'll play 7th fret of D, G, and B together. And then play the 9th fret on the A. And play the 7th fret of D, G, and B together. And as soon as you play that, you hammer on with your ring finger on the 9th fret on the G string, while your index finger stays on the 7th fret of D, G, and B. You see that? And you play the 7th fret of D, G, and B again. And you play 9th fret on the D string only. So you're basically playing the B note. Alright. So you start off from the D major. It ends on the B note of the 9th fret of D string. Okay? And next part, the B minor 7th chord at the 2nd fret position. I'll just play the note straight down. So that's A2, D4, G2, And after that, use your pinky, you pull on the fifth fret of B string. You pick that note. As soon as you pick it, you pull off on the 3rd fret. So, and then you play the G2 again, and back to the 4th fret of D string. Alright, so far with this. I'm sorry. Okay, the next part is similar but slightly different. So this time I'm just playing the 9th fret on the A string twice. And then I'll play 7th fret of D and G string only without playing the B7. As soon as I play the D and G with the 7th fret, I hammer on the 9th fret just like I did before. And play the D and G on the 7th fret again. And back to the 9th fret, the B note on the D string. And after that, you'll play the A sus chord. That's one chord I forgot to tell you about. So basically, play your index finger, borrowing the 2nd fret of D, G, and B. So you play open A string first, 2nd fret of D, 2nd fret of G, 2nd fret on the B string, and then you hammer on the 3rd fret with your middle finger, pull off on the 2nd fret. And it's G2 and D2. Alright, so far we have this. Next part, you do the same thing on the B minor chord I show you. And then you move up to C major chord, the C bar chord. You play the A3, and then you bar the D and G on the 5th fret. And then you use your pinky, you pick the 6th fret on the B string, and you pull off on the 5th fret. To your index finger, to your ring finger, and then you pick the 5th fret of G and D again. And after that, you slide up from use ring finger, slap the 9th fret on the A string, and then play the 7th fret of D and G. So that's the intro. Whole thing slowly. So that's the intro, and then verse is after that. Okay, the verse. Now all 4 verses are the same chord progression, and is only slightly different in how you play every single time of it. So essentially you can play the exact same thing in all 4 verses, and you'll be fine. But if you want, I'm going to show you how to play all the minor details of it as well. But for the background, verse 1, the underlying chords start from the D major, 1 measure, and then B minor, 1 measure, and then C, 2 measure, and then you do that 3 times. You go D, B minor, C major. Do that 3 times. After you play 3 times, you'll do the almost at the end where I show you the on the intro. So it's like a turnaround. So that's like a turnaround. So B minor, B minor sus, and then C sus, back to D. All right. So those are the chords behind it. Now let's go over the actual variation. So here's verse 1 slowly, the first part. Alright, so that part right there, I'm playing the 7th fret on the A string, slap to 9th fret. And you play the 7th fret of D and G together, hammer on the 9th fret on the G. And play the 7th fret of G. And play the 7th fret on the D and quickly hammer on the 9th fret. And now we'll go to the B minor 7th. So you play, this is the chord shape. So you play E7, A9, and D9, and G7. Alright. At the end of the measure, you play the 9th fret quickly on the D string, and then you go to the C major. So you go from D9 to A7, D5, G5, and A7. So like you basically playing the major third of C, which is the E note on the A string. That's a major third of C, and then you play the perfect perfect fifth of C, the 5th fret on the D, and the C note on the 5th fret on the G. Alright, so far with this. Again. Next part. So then you play the 5th fret of D and G, 7th fret of A, 5th fret of D and G again, 7th fret of A, 5th fret of D and G again, slide to 7th fret of D and G, slide back down to 5th fret of D and G. Like that. Back to the 7th fret of E. Alright, so that's the first time you play the D major, B minor, C bar chord. And the second time you basically play the exact same thing I just played, slightly different. Alright, so the next, let me just play that again for what we just learned here. So it goes like this. Now second time goes like this. Alright, so you see, it's almost the same thing of what I played before, but it was very different. Okay, so the notes are, I'll start on the 9th fret again on the A string, 7th fret of D string, slap to 9th fret, 7th fret of D, 9th fret of A, and 7th fret of E, and the 9th fret of A, 7th fret of D and G, hammer on the 9th fret on the D string, and back to 7th fret, and pull off on the 7th fret on the D string. And back to 9th fret of A, and then you play this and slide down and you play 7th fret of A, 5th fret of D and G, 7th fret of A, 5th fret on the D only, 7th fret of A, 5th fret of D and G, 7th fret of A, and then 5th fret on the G string, slide up to 7th fret, back down to 5th fret, and 7th fret on the D string, use my ring finger, and then repeat it again. Next part, you go 7, slide to 9th fret again on the A string. So the second time I play this, I'm gonna play the whole thing together for you. All right. So far, let's put it all together. The first time, the second time. Third time we'll do the same thing again. Remember I say that you got to play the D minor, I'm sorry, D chord, B minor, C chord twice. So this is the third time we're playing this. So the third time goes like this. Again, it's the same thing but slightly different. So okay. So what I'm doing is I'll play the 9th fret on the D, A, I'm sorry, and then you quickly play the 7th fret on the G, hammer on the 9th fret, same thing on the D string, same thing on the A string. So quickly on 7th fret, hammer on the 9th fret, and then you play the B minor 7th chord, arpeggio. So it's E7, A9, D9, G7, and then you play the 9th fret on the A again, slide down to 7th fret on the A, and you play the 5th fret of D and G, do it again, 7th fret A, and then 5th fret of D and G, and then you play the 7th fret on the G only, vibrato, and then 5, G5, D7, and D5. Okay, and then goes to that turnaround. B minor, I'm sorry, C, sus. At the end of the first time we played the verse 1, it ends on the, after you play the 9th fret of D, I'm sorry, A, 7th fret of D and G, you don't just end there, you play the 8th fret on the B string, you pull off the 7th fret. And that's how you end verse 1. Alright, verse 1 slowly, the whole thing together. So that ends verse 1 of Lights. Again, like I say, verse 2 and verse 3 and verse 4 after the solo is very similar to verse 1. The only difference is the way you play those, how you connect those chords together. If we study how you can, if you study what I talk about using pentatonic scale combined with the chord, you can create a lot of nice ideas like this on songs, and to improvise as well. So hopefully this is helpful to you, and we'll cover the rest in a separate video. Thanks for watching.